The goal was to try to find a very small menu of ticks that you could stick to and you wouldn't lose very easily. And so you get the left eyebrow up and you get the mouth out as far as you can and get the hands going.
And there are words too that China's a big one.
We played with that and almost made up our own lexicon where they had Trump say, China and all the other things, all the other silliness that he would do. But Trump, as I said a year ago, Trump was always someone who was digging for a stronger word in his speech that he would never find. So he would always fall back on the same 3 words. So he'd sit there and say, this new tax plan is a tax plan I'm very proud of, and I think the American people are going to find is really, really a great tax plan. It's just a great tax. There's a laziness to his vocabulary. But all of that aside, I think we're at another place now with it, which is that is what's Trump going to do now that the wagons appear to be circling?
When Donald Trump won unexpectedly, was there any part of you, the professional part of you, that thought, great, I get to do Donald Trump again?
No, not at all. But the thing I'm doing that I think people enjoy to some degree is channeling their frustration. It's been a year since he won, and people have been very, very confused and frustrated. And if this show that we've done has helped them to manage those feelings in some way, then I think it's worthwhile.
Is there a downside to the comedy? There are many people who would regard Donald Trump as an object of fear, and you have made him an object of fun. And does that, in its own way, have a normalizing effect?
People have said that, and I've said that myself. I mean, unprompted by other people. A critical mass of Americans bought this nonsense that Trump is this crack go-getter executive you see on some stupid reality show, and this confluence of things came together, of which the portrayal by SNL, I think, had very little to do with that at all. I don't think anybody in this country uses SNL or any late-night comedy. I don't think that Trevor Noah or Samantha Bee or John Oliver or any of the late-night hosts of TV shows have any real influence in the political process. I don't.
Let's talk about the book. You Can't Spell America Without Me. It's a fake memoir in this age of fake news, but some people will read this and they think, this is the sort of stuff I read in the New York Times every day.
Yeah, well, Kurt Andersen's a great gift. I mean, Kurt is a great writer.
He's your co-author.
This is Kurt's take on Trump attempting to be reflective and introspective. Now, Trump is one of the least reflective and introspective men that has ever breathed oxygen in human history. And throughout the book, you see that he's as petty and as bitter as Trump really is all the time in real life, but in this really clever way.
This is an extraordinary moment for America. It's an extraordinary moment for Hollywood, given what's happened with Harvey Weinstein. I wonder how that's impacted the industry, impacted you. I know you've spoken very honestly recently about this.
You're going to see a lot of changes in this business. I think you're going to see a lot of people where you're not going to see an unsupervised, unmonitored casting session in this business for quite some time to come. I hope that people who, prior to now, who took settlement money, Rose McGowan took settlement money from Weinstein and kept quiet for 20 years. And I perfectly understand that because she was probably led to believe that's what's in your interest career-wise. But I hope that we continue along that path, and I hope that people understand that what's going on is not exclusive to our business, that the entertainment business does not have a greater percentage of people being sexually assaulted in the workplace. It's the same in the military, it's the same on Wall Street, it's the same in Washington. Everywhere you go, this is a problem culturally, not confined to the entertainment business, which I think unfortunately people seem to have that impression right now.
And has it been a moment of personal introspection?
I've bullied women before, meaning if I raise my voice to my wife, that's bullying. When a guy tries to get, I'll never forget my daughter said to me once my daughter Ireland, when I was married to her mother, and I said, are you telling me that your mother doesn't yell at you at all? And we were having this pretty intense conversation when she was younger. And she said, oh no, my mother yells at me 10 times more than you do, she said. She said, but when you do it, it's different. And I realized that for men, that is a condition you have to live with men. There's a fear involved of if you get angry, if you get upset, if you become forceful. And I have a minimum of that in my life, meaning the women in my life are not running around in fear that I'm going to do something. But what I've realized even more importantly is that I have lived in a male-dominated society most of my life. The director's a guy, the president's a guy, the head of the company's a guy. I've been in rooms where a woman spoke, and I'd sit there and go, yeah, that's great, Susan. And then I turned to the guy who was in charge, and I was kind of dismissive of, not even so much dismissive of a woman, more accurately, I just elevated men, because men were always in control in my life. Men have always been in control, and men were in charge of everything in my lifetime, and hopefully we're going to see that change as well.